Hey, what's up guys, Frozen here, and today I'm back with another episode of the Mira series. Today we are on Bank. I know I said it would be on Chalet, but I just misjudged it, so it's actually on Bank. Anyway, we are down in the basement, which is arguably the best site. People will prefer this one most. And first of all, we have this mirror right here. Now, there's a couple of variations of this spot, but all of them all do the same thing of holding this spot right here. And that's just because it's very easy to plant here, and it is very easy to do so if there's no mirror watching it, which is why you'll almost always have a mirror here for one reason or another. And also, shotgunning out the top of this by yourself or your smoke makes it easier to throw C4s and throw smoke canisters out there, so when they're trying to plant, you just C4 them and you're good to go. Now, we have this mirror over here, and this one just watches the garage, but this one is a little bit more dangerous because, of course, if this gets popped, hatch or something, then anyone back here, if they're pushing up their garage, for one, they can just walk up the ramp and take out your other mirror, and they have control of red. And it's very easy for that to happen, especially if nobody stops them from like the stairs or something. But also, the fact that now they cut off your rotation basically completely. If they have good enough reaction time, they can see your head walking through this, and they don't even have to peek out there. They can just sit back here, and if anyone walks through the hallway, they can just shoot them. Then, of course, their aim's good enough. Now, for this other spot in here, there is also one more way to do it, which is like this, and that is this setup. Now, this one is pretty common as well, and it accomplishes the exact same thing. You can drop it on the top if you want to, you don't have to though, and if you just want to shoot through the wall, that is. And this spot right here is just because some people prefer crouching up instead of strafing, especially if you don't know how to do the quick lean, which can be kind of hard. It's definitely harder to do if you're trying to strafe as well, at least if you don't rebind your lean keys, so that is one thing. Now this one is just good because if you see someone over there, you can just really quickly peek over and you may get a kill. And it is far faster to just double tap your crouch button than it is to lean out from behind the mirror if it was like this, because you'd have to peek out and then shoot. It's also easier for them to shoot you because you're out there for longer. And if you shoot at that chair, you have a longer line of sight down there, as well as if that is open, people peeking down there, once again, it is very hard for them to counter you sitting in this window. That is, of course, if you don't have a, unless you have no Jaeger, and they simply sit back here and throw a grenade at you before you can shoot them, or they have a Sophia or an Ash that just shoots your window and you lose your window, which is why reinforcing it can sometimes be a lot better. And of course, there are more variations of this spot right here. You can put them in a number of different spots. Some people put it right here on this wall instead, like this, and I don't think this is a very good spot, mostly because of the stairs behind you, and just, you can also get seen from the hatch, which is it's not that good of an angle. But if you do want to be really cheeky, if you have an ACOG, it is technically possible. It's not easy, but it is possible to get an angle from really far back onto the tunnel. If you just keep walking backwards, you can still keep your line of sight on it. And as you can see, from all the way back here, you can see the very edge of the tunnel. Of course, that's not the most practical line of sight, but it still works, and you can sometimes get some free kills because people aren't expecting to shoot someone from the garage or from back here, especially through the metal bars, which are terrible and they should be deleted. But anyway, that is it for downstairs, and moving on to Archives, the second best spot in the map. Okay, so now we are up in Archives and Teller's office, and first off we have this spot here. Now, of course, don't do this. I'm just doing this for sake of example. So, you can put the windows in two spots. You can put it right here, on this spot, and you can put it right here on this spot. Now, the reason why, I'm just gonna pop both these, but the reason why you would put it on either one is that if you want to put it on this one, this is where your rotation hole would usually be, and sometimes you'll put a shield here so you can rotate in and out of this corner freely. which is why you wouldn't want to have a window there reinforced, of course, because then you couldn't rotate. But if you don't have that rotation hole, or you're playing secure area, or I believe this is a hostage site, the hostage is in there, you can see this, as well as if you shoot up the top of this thing, from this window you can also see the other door, which is quite handy. But of course you can only shoot out from one side and you are more predictable, which is why you can use this spot right here, which is same thing. You are slightly more exposed to the door, you can get a slightly longer angle on you as opposed to sitting back here. But it is still good nonetheless, and the angle is very small as well. But attackers with ACOGs may still be able to kill you from it. Just be aware of that. But for this one, same premise, you can peek this door, you can peek this door, but this one you have more unpredictability at the cost of you're a little bit less protected. Now, to save everyone's time, I am going to tell you about this next spot, but it is the same mirror window as you would use in a different spot, so we are going to do that right now, which is going to be in open area. Okay, so now that we are over in open area, first of all, with open area, that this site faced a lot of the problems that almost every objective on the new map Tower faces, and which is you can't actually reinforce everything you need to. But with this one at least, if you reinforce this wall, you do not have enough reinforcements for the rest of the site. You do not have one for the hatch, you do not one for the hatch, there's another hatch in there, and there are 7 walls along to the north. Which means, as you only have 10 reinforcements, this wall cannot get reinforced. But with that being said, a lot of times things won't get reinforced anyway. So usually, if you need to have something unreinforced, I would recommend not reinforcing that. As from the mirror window, you have the most coverage over it, and it just makes it a little bit easier to keep an eye on. As well as, it's just overall a better idea to do that. As opposed to, of course, not reinforcing one of the hatches or any other walls, but you do need to make sure that this wall right here is reinforced, because they can see you in your mirror window from very far away if it's not. Now, after that, back to tellers and archives. The reason you need to hold open area is because of this wall over here, and open area is important for almost every site on this map. And you're usually going to see someone playing there, unless it's like maybe the top floor, in which case you might not. Hole's done here. But if this wall gets opened into archives, it is very easy for the attackers to throw a smoke grenade back here, maybe another one back there, and just take this site. And then they have objective. So to do that, you need to play someone in here. And you don't always need to have a mirror window here, of course. Legion is personally one of my favorite operators to do this kind of thing with. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And so with this spot, you've probably seen me use it before. You've probably seen everyone use this before. You get a long line of sight on this, and if you're a good enough shot, you can kill people from really far back, and they will feel very cheesed because they got shot by the Vector, aka the pea shooter, while they're sitting all the way back on that wall with an ACOG. So it can be pretty satisfying to get kills from here. But of course, the other problem with that is, while this part right here is not openable, this part is. And it is quite easy for them to open above you and simply shoot out your window. In that case, they have cut off your sight. So that's just part of a reason why the sight isn't very good in general, though. But that is basically it for open area. You can put a window in here. Of course, you can't reinforce it because you don't have enough reinforcements. But you can put one in here, and that will help you keep a look of that for longer. But of course, hatch above you, and this hatch, you can definitely get seen, and they're just pushing you. So that is it for the site, and now we are going to move up to the top floor, which is the least popular, and for good reason. Okay, so now that we are upstairs, we have the spot in the closet. Now, you can't use both these spots if you use this as your rotation hole, because that is dumb. And as far as the site goes, I can never recommend going here, just because it's so easy to take from any game mode. If you're playing secure area, I believe this is a secure site, and you can smoke here, you can throw a smoke here, and you have taken something. Like, a Yang and a Capitao is all you really need, and you're in. Maybe a Blackbeard, stay on the window, but you're in. And then they have 2 doors to come through, and it's just a nightmare. So, for Hostage, it's even worse, because they can smoke off the objective, Candela it, flash it, they can grab the hostage, and then they could just jump out the window, and they're gone. And you lost the round within like 45 seconds. And for bomb as well, is this the same thing? Just smokes are very easy to do, and just don't go here. If you're not playing casual, don't go here. And even when you're playing casual strats, really, I'm not gonna judge you for it though. But like I said, this rotation hole doesn't work if you have this mirror here, because of course you're getting a shot from the window. So if you want to do that, you'd reinforce this wall, put the window here instead, and make your rotation hole in this side, or maybe drop deeper in this corner. But just do be aware, if you make it deeper in this corner, that they can see you on that side, and they can just get a pretty long angle, especially if you're not expecting it from your own rotation hole, which you may want to castle this if you're doing that. But that is basically it for this site. There are more spots, but generally speaking, just don't go here if you don't have to. And you never are going to have to go here. So, I can't see a good reason, because there aren't, like, insane ways to hold this. You can hold it from below with, like, pulse and C4s, but it's just, it doesn't work. Because holding from below is always such a risk-reward kind of thing, because if you're playing from above, you can drop from hatches easily, but you have to find a staircase if you're playing from below. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next week we will be on Chalet, and that should be a good video. I have a lot of good spots for that. And keep fucking Christ, I can't speak today. And just keep what? Stay tuned. And stay tuned for other videos. I have quite a few planned for the coming weeks. But like I said, that is it for this video, and I will talk to you all later. Peace. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the